Rich Tehrani here with TMC. Thanks for watching. We're at Cloud Expo 2012 in Santa Clara, California, and on our program is Lee with Starboard. Lee, welcome to the show.
Hi, good to be here.
Good to have you. So I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about your company. Let's start at the top. I know I've met you before, but just in case any of the viewers aren't aware.
Yeah, sure. Starboard Storage is a provider of storage systems that are hybrid. We combine solid state technology and a back-end dynamic disk pool to try and make sure customers have a very, very fast storage system, but also a very cost-efficient storage system for their big data. We came out of stealth in February, so we're a relatively new company.
Now that kind of technology is becoming mainstream. Some of the leading PC vendors now are building similar kind of systems in their computers, desktop computers, right?
Yeah, so actually using solid state and spinning media combined is a thing that's happening across the board. So you see it in large enterprise storage. You see it also now down in the desktop. As you say, Apple introduced, for instance, a Fusion drive down on their Macs that's doing that. And what we do essentially is we're taking that to another level where we're taking the SSD and virtualizing it across all of those hard disk drives at the back end, whereas Apple's basically delivering a single drive that combines those two.
So what are the benefits of virtualizing the SSD?
Virtualizing the SSD is important because SSD is an expensive resource. So if you think about how much you're going to spend on performance resources, if you can virtualize those and have more and more applications able to access them, that's good. Now, the problem with that, of course, is how do you know when those applications actually need to access the SSD? And that's what we really do. We make sure that we're watching the application and we accelerate the application on demand as demand comes in from your customers and your users for that particular application, so that every application gets accelerated by this solid state virtualized layer.
So is it fair to say your customers basically need fast and consistent access to disk at a reasonable price, and that's what they have in common?
Yeah, we deliver to small, medium enterprise customers, but they typically have quite a lot of data. About 5% of that data is active at any one time, but they don't know which 5%. So they'd like to be able to store most of their data at rest on lower cost, 7200 RPM spinning disk. But when they need the performance, they need it immediately. They don't want to set up policy, they don't understand their applications. They just want us to accelerate that application on demand for them.
So basically we're just talking about a huge system of intelligent caching?
It is essentially an intelligent caching system. What we've built is an architecture that doesn't really care whether it's solid state or hard disk drives behind it. It is a caching mechanism that takes higher cost, higher performance media and fronts lower cost, larger capacity media behind it. So that's the basis of it, but the other things that we do are we make sure that at the back end we create a single dynamic storage pool. So we don't have RAID controllers, we don't have RAID groups like other storage systems have. And what that means is that we also, as well as provide this performance on demand, all the applications have access to all of the capacity in the system. Everything's thin provisioned, and so whenever an application starts to grow in capacity, it doesn't have to worry about which RAID construct it's under. It just grows with the system.
So what problems or needs would I have as a potential customer that would make me think that I should go to your website or call you and potentially become a customer?
Yeah, typically what we see are two things. One is that customers have existing storage systems where a particular application is not getting the performance that it needs. They're looking for higher performance, but they also don't want to over-provision that performance because of one application. So we really help them solve that problem by providing a high watermark of performance and allowing them to share that performance amongst all their applications. The second thing we see is that storage systems that people are using today are mostly built on 20-year-old architectures. They don't provide all of the features and functionality built in. And as they come up on renewal, people find that their renewal prices on software for NetApp 3000s or EMC VNX platforms or Clarions is extremely high. And so they're looking for new technology, and they're looking for that at a cost-effective price. And really, we've built our system understanding that SSDs exist. We didn't build it 20 years ago when no one had a clue that an SSD existed. So we're very efficient in the way we use SSD.
Excellent. Anything future looking that you can tell us? Maybe new products, new ideas, new thoughts?
Sure, I think what you're going to see is actually hybrid systems become the system that everybody uses. Even if you look at what the larger storage vendors are announcing today, they're all moving towards a blend of solid state and back-end disk. The trend, though, is going to be how do you treat those in a way that actually maximizes the value of each of those elements. And the problem with the older architectures is they don't do that. So what we're really driving towards is to give customers the ability to manage their performance and understand it and have visual understanding of exactly how their application is performing without having to understand anything about the application itself, what they need to do to manage it. And so they can just manage it by basically click, provision, and perform. It's going to be just very, very simple for them. But they're going to get the right performance at the right time for every application that they have in their system.
Thank you so much for being on the program.
Oh, thank you.